Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We've got Bunny next door ready to read out your messages or your comments or any questions that you might have. This is the last show of the day, so we've had our 2 days of launch here at Carnation. So we are going to look at some of the design team cards and recreate some of their cards in this show. Now we are just going to quickly go over, because this is the collection that we're going to be using. It's our brand new launch, A Warm Welcome, which launched yesterday. It is on a show price for you, which will go back up at midnight on Friday. So if you want to grab that at that lower price point, then do get it before midnight on Friday. You can see you've got a variety in here of your card shape, your sentiment, you've got your foliage, that lovely tree with that birdhouse, you've got your squirrel, your mushrooms, and your walking boots and your stool there. So really lovely, warm, cozy feel with this. The triptych card shape we also have on the show. This has been so popular, extremely popular during the last 2 days. It gives you that really different, ornate, very detailed card shape straight away from one pass of your die cutting machine. Really unusual shape on there, and again that is on that show price for you until midnight on Friday. So if you do want to grab that one, although I'm not sure the stock on that one will last until Friday, but do grab that before it goes back up to full price. And then we also have our perfect papers here, so these are the ones to coordinate with A Warm Welcome. You've got 48 sheets in there of 300 GSM cardstock weight. You've got that check pattern and the Dainty Daisy in there. Such a lovely colour palette in there, really rich colours with the burgundies and the reds in there. Now I'm going to show you some more of the design team samples before we go over to do some crafting, so you can see some other ways the design team have used them. So Fiona did this one. You can see they're using the triptych card shape. You can see how that really does look like a mirror, like that, because you've got that panel, the clock. Do you know what it kind of looks like as well? Like, do you know those like fancy boards people have at weddings with like the name of what table you're sitting on? Like, it kind of looks like that as well. Every time I look at it, I think of a different way of using them. And I've got another one here by Fiona. You can see there. That does look Christmassy. That looks Christmassy with those flowers on as well. It work if you just had like a Christmas sentiment there. Now that would work. These almost like stands are from the triptych card shape and the banner here, and then you can see you've got your florals then from A Warm Welcome on that one. Then we've got one here by Janine, so you can see they're using the sentiment as the focal point of your card, which you can absolutely do that with these because they are such lovely size, and the font on them, they are so detailed. And then look, I love how Pam's added the acorns into the tree as well. They're just so lovely. And then your sentiment on the bottom. It does look like Bunny's just said it almost tells a story, and it does look really storybook, doesn't it? And then I've got one here. Now I'm going to apologise because this doesn't have a name on it. Look at that. See, that makes me think of like oh, what's the like fancy name for those in the garden? You know, Bunny's just laughing at me. She got no idea. No, it's like you'd have maybe a couple more round, and then you'd go in, and you could like sit in the middle. No, I kind of like it somehow. This just. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like it would be, they'd be panels like that are just open, and then you just have an entranceway kind of be here, and then all of this bit. So it's kind of, it's all like open like that. So it's not. Oh, you'd see them in like Even if you say the right word, Bunny, I don't know what the right word is. But that in white, seeing it like that with them, the apertures cut in, that's what it makes me think of. It, like, you know, you like see them in the stories with the princesses, or like, you know, people get married in them in the bottom, like a bandstand type of thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? She's just agreeing with me. She's like, she thinks that they're called a what? Pagoda? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But that's just what it made me think of. This is lovely. Barbara did this one. And I love that she's added in multiples like of that bouquet to just build up a bigger bouquet of flowers. Now again, that I think you could use that for Christmas. Just with those reds and those creams in there, I think would work so well for, like, it just looks like a Christmas bouquet that you could mix in. So lots of different ways that you could use these to make your bandstand. Oh yeah, what it's called, whatever it is called, you can make one with this collection, which is what matters. So it's fine. Right. Let's make a card. Right, so I'm gonna start with some cardstock, and let me grab. Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't I? Right, let me grab that. Oh, my dies are going everywhere here. And that. Oh, right, let me just stick that there so I don't lose it. Right, so we're going to make this card by Janine. So it was we've chosen this one. Bunny chose this one because it was just another way of using the dorsal card shape. So it just shows you something different again that you could do with the card. So I'm going to pop this on there. Now you can. Now when I was prepping this at home, I could get away with cutting it that way. But these plates are a bit warped, so it doesn't quite go to the edge. So I'm going to cut it that way just to be sure. But like I said, at home, I could get away with cutting it that way. So you can get more out of your cut, yeah, out, you know, or add more dies in there. But I'm just going to cut it that way to make sure that that goes through. So I'm going to just run that through, and that is going to be, that's going to cut out the base for us. So that's going to give us our complete base of our card, and then we need a sentiment to go on there. And I'm going to grab the Perfect Papers. What colour would you like, Bunny, for the sentiment? So you're going to have the flowers and then the sentiment on top. So what sentiment would you like? The dark orange colour. So she wants this. Let's go for that one then. Let's pop that then in case we need it. Right, now we need to cut this out. Right, so if I put that there, I'll just put that there for a sec. Now, I am just in the habit of doing this, okay? So if I'm cutting something out, especially with Perfect Papers, because you've got that smooth finish, if I'm cutting something small out like this, or, you know, even something smaller, whatever it is that I'm cutting out, I will cut it out. Only because if you put the full sheet of card in, obviously it doesn't make any difference. You're still going to use this bit, but all those little cut lines that you have in your plate get embedded into the cardstock. So if you run it through once, like, it's a bit hard for you to see on there, but can you see you've got like little marks where you can't really see. Maybe you will on here now on the rest of it, but to me it just saves my cardstock. So instead of running it all through and possibly like getting some marks and things on that, you just keep in your cardstock kind of like pristine until you need it. You know, you might end up cutting that out anyway, but if you don't need to, it's just a habit that I have got into doing. Right, so this is cutting out now the sentiments. I've already cut the mat out for us, so this is going to cut the sentiment for us. So can you, if I change it to the light, I don't know, can you see it's ever so slightly, but you have like, can you see like the score lines and the mark lines that come off the plate? So you'd have that now on the entire sheet, whereas now this is still obviously pristine and this bit has got marks in, but obviously that bit doesn't matter. So it's just a habit that is quite a good one to get into. Right, so I'm going to pull this out. So you can see now we've got our complete card in there, ready to go. The aperture is built in. Now what I am going to do is fold this in half. Your score lines are built in for you. Now what Janine has done is she's used one of the mats to go on the back to make the card base, but I think just for speed what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that bit on. So it's just showing you, to be fair, a slightly different way again of using it. So I'm going to cut the back off there. So you're just following that score line that's already on there for you. I'll snip that off. And then that will give us the front of our card. So mine is just going to be that way instead of that way, if that makes sense. But or you could, or what you could do actually, which would be just as easy, is if you use your scissors and just, again, all you're doing is following that line. Or if you were doing this, actually, you could use your cutter or your guillotine or something, because you are just following that straight line that's in the die for you. If you just follow that and then go like that and glue it on the back, and then you've got that. So let's do that. So glue that on there like that, and then you've got your card base. Okay, so we've got the base, so you're changing that ever so slightly. Then what we're going to do is glue this bit in. So this is your hinge, your bracket that will fit on. So this is the bit that's been designed to go into those little cut holes that will hang off there. Obviously it's not going to hang off out of those holes for this one, but we are going to still stick that in line with the card. So that's just going to sit on there like that. So we've got that. Do you know what that makes me think of? And I've got no idea why, so I'm not expecting you to agree with me on this one. But that kind of makes me think of like a window. And this makes me think of like, you know, like you see in like cities where they've got the sign kind of like hanging off the side of the building. It gives me like that kind of vibes. Yeah, where it's just like sticking out on the side of the building. That's the vibes that it gives. I don't know why. Right, I'm going to go in next with some glue. And we're going to stick the mat on. So the mat for our sentiment is going to go there like that. And then we can pop this sentiment out, and we can add this in. How detailed that is. It's so lovely. I love the font. It's so, do you know what? This is kind of like storybook font as well. Do you know, like when you open the first page of like certain stories, and like the first word and stuff has got like is a fancy font and things. It's really lovely. So I'm just going to spread that glue around, and then we can put that on there. Let's move that down. So we're just going to add that sentiment in place. And then we need to go in and add some of these mats and layers. So let's add these. So I'm just going to grab some foam tape. And we'll add these in. So you've got all of the mats and layers in the die. So you're not worrying about, you know, trying to measure anything, trying to work anything out. They're all in there for you, ready to go. And you can see that you've got the lines around the aperture as well, so you can easily see where each one fits into place, obviously as long as you actually put it down. And then we'll go in with the next one, because I think Janine has added tape on every one of these to build the layers up. And do you know what I've just realised, Bunny? I'm going to run out of tape. You can do it in a bit if you want. I think I've got enough for this card. Oh, she's like a personal shopper. So let's add these on. So I'm adding the foam on quickly for the other side as well, so we can stick these on. And then those last layers, I think we're going to have to see. Have I got one? Sure, yeah. We'll add the foam tape for clean and simple. I always keep this for things like this that I know it comes in so handy. And I'll just do this side, and then we can stick these on. So let's grab them. Right, and then we can add these on. So you've got your 3 matte layers dies that you can add into here. So plenty of options when you're thinking of what colorways you want to add into your card and things like that. You can really add a lot of color into these. And this one, but you get so much in there just in white. That looks so detailed already, doesn't it? And it's just white. All we've done is just white card. We've got one bit of the perfect papers on the sentiment, and you can see how much dimension you can get in there. So let's add the other side now, so you can add that one in. And in this side, I wonder who is crafting with this today. We did have emails earlier, didn't we, that people were getting ready for their crafty afternoons. Audrey has messaged in saying that she's put her first card make in our group, and it's a lovely set. Oh, well, I'll have to make sure that I have a look after the show. Oh, thank you for sharing. It's mad to think that this only launched yesterday and somebody's posted their make with it already. When you think of it, like, it was yesterday that we launched it. And it's like, yeah, you're already, oh, this is my card I've made, which is so good. But yeah, Carnation are so good at getting the orders out to everybody. Right, I'm going to pop the last layer on there. So you can see now already how much depth you have got in there. And all we've done is use white cardstock, cut out the base. You know, we cut the base to give us that back as well. But all we've done is add the mats and layers in white. And that looks so 3D. Something really different. Now we need to cut in with some of, oh, there it is. You can tell it's the end of the day because I can't see things that are right in front of my face. Right, so we're going to add the florals in next. So we need one to go up the side of the card. So one is going to go there like that. So we'll add some pin flare on there. Then we're going to add this ribbon in. Well, I say ribbon, it's like a ribbon fabric. That's going to go there. Then we've got the bottom part of the flower then that's going to just sit there like that. And then we've got some of the decoupage pieces that are going to just sit on the top. So that, like, fabric-y ribbon, that would work with so many other flower collections as well, wouldn't it? To just bring in like that, it just looks really lovely, doesn't it? It just adds a little bit more texture into your card as well. And then I've got this little piece then as well from the Florist's Flourishes, which is just going to tuck in there, so that just looks as if that's coming out there. I'm going to tuck that like that, and then I can just add, I'll add a couple of these just because we can. Put that in there, and that, and is it? Do you know what I thought it was? I thought you just like bumped the aircon up or something. Because if you heard that noise, I thought Bunny had turned the aircon up in here, but then she just told me that it was the rain from outside. Oh, that's not nice. Oh, you just want to stay in and craft, don't you? Right, so you can see that's the one obviously that we've done using the Perfect Papers with the Elegant Words, using the dorsal card shape in a little different way, the florals there from that as well, and then there's a couple of the Florist Flourishes in there as well. And then I'm just going to grab So it's just ever so slightly, different, color with the sentiment, and just a slightly different way of actually making the base of the card. But you can see, but you know what, you could do that. How different that looks just with the different color of the sentiment. You could do that if you make and sell. You could do that exact same card and just change the sentiment to the 3 different sentiments, and they'd look completely different. Or maybe you could do them like that, where you change the color of the sentiment on each one. You could put those in a pack and sell them, because that card with cheer, that could be for anything at all. That could be a birthday, a celebration, anniversary. It could be anything at all, couldn't it? So there's lots of ways that you can have a play around with these and think of some different ways. Should we do this one next, just to make sure we get that in? So we're gonna do this one by Vera. So this is the one we're going to do next, and we just need to grab some dies, and let me think, what else do we need? We'll do that. Right, shall we do it in the exact same colour, or do we do it in a slightly different colourway? I feel slightly different, yeah, because then it's just showing you, yeah, it'll be exactly the same, won't it? Just a little bit different. So shall we? Shall we do the cream? So you see the cream and the darker one. Right, so if I pop that on there, and then I'm going to pop this on there. I might be a bit cheeky and see if I can fit them in there as well, because why not? Right, so I'm just going to give that a squeeze to make sure they don't move, and I'm going to run that through. So that's going to give us the card base and those 2 kind of like shelves to go on. So if that goes through there, which it is, then that's going to give us that card. So we'll have the base straight away. So that's the lovely thing with this, one pass with these card shapes, and you've got the card straight away. So if I pull, if I pull that on, oh, right, so I've got that, and then the edge of this does not like to cut. It's just, right, so we need this because we're going to cut that again. Let's get rid of that rubbish. I've got the card shape, I just need to cut that edge bit. So if I pull that out of there, so you've got the card base. Oh my, is that actually the rain? Can you hear it on my mic, or can you just hear it? Oh, I can't believe how bad that is. Oh. Right, now we've got that leftover piece. We're going to go back in with the smaller side, because obviously I need that. You got your one to go in there, but we need the 2 of the other bit to go on those 2 outside edges. So I'm going to stick that in and run that through. So while that's going through, I'm just going to cut this bit, because I haven't quite cut that edge there. And then let's pull this out. So we've got that, like that. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? So we'll add this in. It's really decent. It's really ornate. And I just think it works for so many different occasions as well. Like different colourway. Every time I see it in a different colourway, I think of a different occasion that you could use it for. So really usable. That is gonna go there. Like that. That one, I don't know why, but that made me think of a new baby card. I think it's like the peachy tones in it. It was like, because I feel like you either know if you're having a boy or a girl, so you do a pink card or a blue card, or if you don't know what the person's having, then you go peach or like lemon, you know, yellows. So it's like that. I don't know if that's why it made me think of that. I don't know. What am I doing? Sentiment. What sentiment would you like? Let's do a different one because we used with cheer. So should we do wonderful, or do you want? We'll do wonderful. So let's. So you've got your mat and you've got the sentiment. So this is going to sit across there like that. So I need a different colourway to add in for this. So shall we? Oh, do you know what? I'm going to use that dark. I'm going to use this. Yeah, I'm going to use that. So I can see now. I can now cut that bit out, and that bit is pristine. So let's run that through, and then I need to get another piece of that cream to cut the sentiment out. So if I put that in here, our perfect papers, and do you know what? This is one of the beauties of having these perfect papers, because you can just flip through and grab any colours. And you don't have to think of, well, is that going to work? You know they're going to work. You can grab any ones from the perfect papers. You don't have to worry about, you know, oh, does that shade match that shade? Or, you know, does that cream match that orange? Like, they just work, so you don't have to think about it. Right. We've got that. That is going to go on there. And then we'll grab the perfect paper, grab our sentiment, and we can run that in there then. So we'll put that in there. Now, are we going to cut, do we want to cut the matte layers, or should we just do it without the matte layers? I mean, it would look better with the matte layers. It's just I don't want you guys to just sit there watching me cutting 3 lots of matte layers. Do you know what I mean? Right, so that is cut out. So let's pop these on. Where's my tape? So I'm going to put a little bit of tape on there. Oh, don't say that. Bunny's just said she thinks she can hear thunder. If you can hear thunder, Bunny, you are walking me to my car and coming back to the hotel with me. Oh no. I don't like. No, I'm saying. Well, I have, yeah, but I was saying, oh no, to the thunder. I do not like thunder. Oh, I don't like thunder and lightning, no. If it's thunder and lightning, you've got absolutely zero chance of me leaving my house. No, I don't like it. Ugh. That's not making me feel better, Bunny. It is not okay when you're driving. You're driving a big metal thing. How do you know it's not going to get you? That's exactly how it works. It's a big metal thing. Yeah, but it could still get you. Oh, it could still. No, no. If there's lightning or thunder, it's a no. Yeah, I'll sleep in the studio. Yeah. To be fair, if it is thundering right now, I think maybe because of the foam and stuff in here, I can't hear it. So maybe I will be sleeping in here tonight. Yeah, I'll just. Yeah. I mean, what else do I need? Right, so we've got that. We've added those in. Now that to me looks so pretty like that with those almost like little shelves on the back, on the bottom. That looks so elegant like that. Really, really pretty and screams to me like a baby card, anniversary, wedding, engagement. It just looks so ornate. Really, really pretty. Now let's grab. Right. Excuse my head. Let's grab these. Let's make some room. Right, so we want the ribbon on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the ribbon, the fabric about there. So keep that bit. And then do the same thing again. Keep that bit. And then what we're going to do is add some glue on the back of there. And so this is going to go on there like that. So this is going to go, oh my gosh, I can't pick it up. Right, that's going to go there. And then that's going to just go on there like that. And then the same on the other side. So a little bit of glue. And then that is just going to go there like that. So that's going to be the center part. So then before we stick that in, let's go in with the flowers. So we're going to add these in next. Now I think Vera has used parts of these and then covered the red with the decoupage, so it's just those lovely gold colorways. So you could absolutely do that. It changes the look of that book, of the flowers completely doing that. So I'm going to tuck this in there like that, and then this one I'm gonna have I got another one? Yes, let's add this in. So just add some pin flare on here, and then we can tuck that one in there like that as well. So now we can add in, so what Vera's done is where the red is, just go over those with like the creams and the gold florals to cover them up. Because we're doing the same card but we're doing it in a different colorway, I'll leave the reds in and just build these flowers up a bit more, and then it'll be nice because then you can see the difference of what it would look like if you covered up the colorways, or if you just stuck with the colors how they are and you just added in some more details into there. So same card but slightly different. Now I'm gonna add that in there. add this one there like that, and then let's just grab that so I can kind of see what that's going to look like. Before I stick that down, because I don't want this to droop when I pick it up, I'm going to go in. I'm just going to add 2 layers of tape, and then that will just stand up there. And then, yeah, let's add the sentiment on, shall we? So we've got the, oh, wonderful, that we cut out in the same cream as the back. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the larger areas on here. I'm going to grab my applicator and just give them a spread around your sentiment. Make sure you've got a nice even amount of glue on there, and then that will just sit on there like that. I thought I'd already stuck that down. And there, go over there. Right, so that one, they look so different. So you can see how Vera's covered up, it was Vera, wasn't it? Yes. Has covered the red. So just go over them. So like the reds, you can just go in, add more of the decoupage to cover them up. So you're going to make it the bouquet just with those creams and gold colours like that. Obviously I've used the sentiment from the collection, but separate sentiment there. You've got your elements there as well from the Florist Flourish. So if I show you that one, so you can see it there, and then if I lift that one, so you can see, so exactly the same card design, but they still look completely different, don't they? And I think that's what's lovely about the set, because like this card shape, you can use it, like I've said so many times, the different colorways that you use that is going to look completely different. It's going to cover you all year round with different themes, different seasons. It just ticks every single box. It's something really different as well when you look at it. And look at the detail that you have in the top of these as well. It is such a detailed die. Really, really pretty. So lots of different ways that you can mix and match this up. Now I'm just going to pop that there. I need some cards. Bunny is going to have an absolute face on her when she sees the mess behind my desk. Oh, you have. She's saying she's come to expect it. I mean, as crafters, we are not known for our tidiness. Ah, I will make sure you remember that. Bunny just said that I'm not doing my job properly if I'm not making a mess crafting. So I think that's just my excuse from now on, Bunny. Bunny said that if I'm not being messy, then I'm not doing my job properly. So, right, I'm just poking these little bits out because we used it just now. So I just want to make sure that out. Right. So we're going to use the Triptych mirror card again. I'm going to run that through. So I've just got some white cardstock in there. Okay, so I'm just going to put that through there to die cut for us. So I am trying to be like a little bit neat. You know. I mean, it could be messier. It could be tidier, but it could also be messier. So, right, let's grab that. And then we'll pop this out of there. And then let's move that out of the way. Right, so we've cut that out, and there, we've popped that through. So during the shows yesterday, me and Bunny kept saying about how when we looked at these, we saw different things. And even in the earlier show, somebody, I'm so sorry, I can't remember who the name, can you remember, Bunny, who said about the clock? Somebody messaged in saying that they could see them being really good designs as a clock. Chaz, I think it was. So, and this is one of the lovely things about this this card base, is you do look at it and you think of different things. The more you look at it, the more you think of different things that you can do with it. So at some point yesterday, we did that, and I was like, oh, you could make it into a box. And then what we thought was, you could actually stick one up with another one, and it would look like a lantern, which, you know, I instantly went to Christmas with, because, you know, that's when you have lanterns, isn't it? To me, that's the only time I ever see lanterns out and about, is Christmas. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pop some glue around the small panel, and I'm going to just stick the other panel from the other card on top. So it's just going to go straight on top of that. Just make sure that's lined up. See, so if you did that again, so you had another one there. I know this is the wrong colour, but if you stuck another one on there now like that, and then had those, do you see what I mean about that, like, summery thing? Like, it's just the bandstand thing. Like, that's what I can just imagine, like a wedding couple stood there, and like all flowers all across the top. That's where my brain went for that. So we've glued that one in. Now, if you were going to make this into a lantern, you could cut the easy apertures in each panel of these if you wanted to, or you could just cut along the bigger ones. You know, obviously the choice is completely up to you. You could pop some acetate onto these, pop some vellum onto them. Would look really lovely. So you've got different options on what you want to do with these. Oh, see, she's getting Christmassy now. So Bunny's just said you could put some acetate on there and then make it into a shaker card, because you could put some snow in there. She is getting into... And have a character in the middle. Oh, she is getting Christmassy. She's in the Christmas... Well, to be fair, I feel like you've got to. It's September now. All of the Christmas stuff is in the shops. So... Oh, you could! Bunny just said you could have it as a doll. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm just going to cut that. Oh, and then one more there. So we've got that. So you could now, if I glue that and that one together, then you will have a lantern. Oh, do you know what that makes me think of now? Do you know, like those Christmassy things that you get that have like little scenes in that move? I don't know what they're called, but they're like, you know, you can get them battery or electric, and it's just like a little scene, and maybe a couple of the characters move slightly. It makes me think of something like that. I could just imagine like a little Christmassy scene in there. And then obviously if you were doing that and you wanted it as a card, you could fold that flat, depending on obviously what you put inside of it, how much you decoupage it. But you could potentially fold that flat to post it. Or you could have it like that as a 3D element. You could even just literally just cut. Obviously do this with your cutter, but you could literally just cut a little strip with your guillotine, yeah, so it is actually straight, and then pop that in there, and you've got like a little handle. And then if you wanted to add in where was the one that we did? No, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did this and I was like, oh, actually I don't know if I like it or not, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway. So the base, so what I'd done, I can't remember the measurements, I think it was 2.5 by 2 1/8, and then 1/2 inch on each side. So you just score that, just cut in to the bits that obviously you've scored to make it into the base. So just like you were making like a box, you know, you've made the bottom of the box, and then that fits there. So you can just, should I glue this? I don't know if I want to glue it. Shall we? Oh, okay, Bunny wants to, and the other. Let's glue it. Right, let's glue these tabs. So if I glue them, no, it might look better actually if you made them longer. So the only reason that I didn't like it, I know I'm gonna glue it, but it was just I didn't think about you'd see the box is what I didn't think about. But then I suppose, I don't know, because by the time you've actually decorated it, you probably wouldn't notice it anyway. So right, I'm just gonna give these edges a second to grab, because I don't want them to move when I stick those in. Right, so one side is longer, that one, so let's stick that in first. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some glue on each side. I'm going to stick that there. Oh, actually I'm going to have to stick it on the bottom because we've cut that aperture. So if I stick that there, that one is going to go there. That's going to go, oh, no, I was right the first time. That's going there. That's going there. That's going to go there. Straighten that up. So that one will go on there. That one will go on there. And then this will just go, so exactly like on the first layer we did, that will just line up with that. Like that. So that has got your base in. So you could put like a little tea light candle in there, or go in with your tiny lights around that. So if I ta-da! That just screams Christmas to me. And then you could add that in as well. So it does look like a little lantern. So you pop that there, and then go in and decorate. And just go in then and just add. See, by the time you added them in, like if you, I actually really like that now. So go in, see. really, that's gonna be your Christmas card, Bunny. Right, thank you so much if you've joined me, Bunny, and Dave over the last 2 days, and obviously just me and Bunny today. I will be back at 1 and 6 tomorrow on Hobbymaker, and then we will be, when are we back here, Bunny? Oh yes, it is. It's Friday. So next Friday, we will be back here at Carnation Crafts TV. So you can come back next Friday and join me and Bunny then. So have a seated in serenity. Bunny has just told me I'm allowed to tell you. So that will be next Friday. Really, really pretty one. Something a bit different as well to me, something a bit unusual, so a really lovely one, so don't miss out on that. So join me and Bunny next Friday. Hope I will see you all then. Bye.